How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another Innovations with Nick. And just want to start out by saying that one of my good buddies, he said, "Hey Nick, I really like your channel. I think what you're doing is great. But I want to know a little more about you. Let's hear a little more about, get to know you a little bit better." So in this video, I'm going to be doing two things. I'm first going to be sharing a few stories of my life, and then also covering how consistency and being persistent and having confidence while you do that can help and be a vital tool in your life and speed up your dreams and goals in your life tenfold. So first off, I'm from a little town called Kalama. It's in Washington, about 2,500 people. And when I was in high school as a senior, I didn't have my license, and most of the kids did. And, they had cell phones. My parents have the most money, so I wanted to go to school, and a lot of my friends were going to Western, which is in Bellingham, where I live now. And I also wanted to go to school, but I didn't get the best grades, and I didn't have any scholarships, so I figured, well, I got to go to work because I got to get a license first. So started working with my brother at a painting company, and my boss was mean. He was angry. I usually got the short end of the stick on everything. He had trained over 20 painters, and so he didn't have time to deal with my inability to be good at something I'd never done before. So that was an insane experience, and it was a terrible experience. First 6 months, I hated it, completely hated it. And back to Bellingham, I'd gone there 3 or 4 times as I was going through high school, and I really loved it. It was a town that I'd visit, and when I went up there, just the way the trees surrounded the town, and the people and the environment, and it was just real cool. Very organic, you could say. That's what the Bellinghamers would say. So I loved it, and I got a chance to go after high school when I was painting. And again, I had that same feeling. I really loved it, and I was just like, what can I do to stay up here? What can I do to live here? And so that weekend, I went around different places looking for jobs, and I said, well, I'm doing some painting back home. I don't have much experience, but give it a shot. So I got on Craigslist, met up with somebody that weekend, and worked for him for a couple hours. And he watched me, and he said, "Okay, you're hired." And I wasn't really sure why he hired me. Like I said, I didn't have much experience, but I think he was just looking for somebody to work hard. So that Monday, I went home and got like 2 weeks worth of clothes, some painting clothes, some stuff. And I said, okay, hey guys, can I stay on your couch for a couple weeks? I don't know what's going on here, but let's just see if this is something. And they said, yeah. And so I ended up working 31 days in a row, close to 12-hour days every day, for, a little, close to a month. And I wasn't sure, what was happening. And, shortly after, through those 31 days, I started running painting crews. And I had only had a year of painting experience. So I was running crews with no experience whatsoever. But I was consistent every day, and I showed up on time, and I was persistent in that goal to live in Bellingham, which is what I wanted. And also, at that time, the living situation, like I was staying with some friends, and I said, okay, well, can I stay a little bit longer? And so I ended up staying another 2 months on their couch and working. And the summer was great. It was good. I learned a lot of skills through it. But then winter hit, and painting is a seasonal thing, and jobs started getting scarce, and I was laid off. So as far as painting, and when you're only with company for a couple months, there's not much benefits going on there. So I was kind of on my own, and I had still been living with them, and another few buddies were coming up to Bellingham, and I said, well, hey, can I stay with you guys until I get this figured out? So, long story short, I ended up living for 10 months and sleeping on couches of my friends. That was something that I did because I wanted to live in Bellingham. Also through that time, after that winter when we started painting again, the car that I got after I got my license and paid through driver's ed right before I moved up to Bellingham, it was a $300 car, and I was stoked to get that because I didn't even think I'd get a car or a license. and that broke down. It completely went out. Couldn't put money back into it. It was toast. And the company was nice enough to let me drive their vehicles. So I didn't have a car, and I didn't even have a room. I was sleeping on the couch, but that was all because, again, I wanted to live in Bellingham, and I loved it, and I knew that it'd be worth it. And I had confidence in myself to keep doing. I knew if I kept doing what I was doing, eventually something would work out, and I was right. I kept working, and summer got busy, and that whole summer I saved up and I bought a $3,000 car, and it's worked great, and I love my car. It's another Honda. But that was something that I needed to learn through that, and that built my confidence through that time to stay consistent, stay persistent into what I wanted. Another thing, we fast forward a little bit. I'd worked for 3 or 4 different painting companies since I've been in Bellingham, and I've been in Bellingham for 3 years now. And I said in my last video that I got certified. One winter when I was laid off, I got certified as a personal trainer, and then we fast forward again. A few months later, right before spring started again, I was at a business opportunity meeting, met the right person, which introduced me to the right person, and she was a trainer, and she had a position. She needed somebody to work with her, and it worked out. It worked out great. We really we saw eye to eye, and she said, "Okay, let's do this." And I was like, "All right, sweet." And one thing you got to understand, though, it wasn't like she had this whole list of clientele. It was like, "Here, train them." It was more like, okay, let's see if this works out. And so what I did was I did sit-ins where I'd watch her train, and then I would train with them. And some of the clients weren't comfortable right away with training me. They didn't really know me, and some of them did. There's still one client that still trains with me, even though she used to train somebody else. So, but every day I was consistent on that dream of being a trainer, and I'd known that I did it with painting already and with staying in Bellingham. And so I used that forward. I paid it forward to my next thing. And it was something, painting was all right, but training I loved. It's a passion of mine. And so every day I was consistent, and I said, I'm not really sure, but I had no experience. I'm not really sure how to train people or what to do. So I had to do all my own research, and I had to get all my own clientele. I mean, the majority of it was, on my own. And I'd learned how to talk to people. And I said, I don't know how to do any of these things. There's no guarantee here, but I'm going to persist. I'm going to persist into my dream of being a trainer. And, let's fast forward till now. A year later, I now have close to a full book of clientele, or right about the mark of where I want to be for the activities that I have going on outside of personal training in my life. And, I'm happy, and I get to work, and I work with athletes and different people. But that wouldn't have happened if at the time when my car broke down, I said, "Oh, I don't have a car, and winter's coming up, and I'm worried about that. So, Mom, can I move back home?" None of this would have happened if that happened. So that is something where I use, like I said, consistency every day, and then persisting to your dream to have confidence into your goals. And then when you tie that confidence into it, people see that, and then they're like, "Oh, this person is consistent, persistent, and they have confidence. They can do this." And you not only are convincing others, but you're convincing yourself, and you change through that process. So that's something, if you want something in life, if you have a goal, if you have a dream, start by being consistent. It's everyday thing. It's not every other day. Every day, be consistent, and then persist no matter what happens. For like me, car broke down, I persist. I got laid off and I had no money. I persist. I was worried about making rent payments, and I had no car, and I was sleeping on a couch. It didn't matter. I persist. Training, didn't work out right away. I had clients that didn't stay consistent with me and didn't train, and I had doubts in myself. It didn't matter. I kept persisting because I knew what I wanted, and I had a passion and I had a drive in my heart for what I wanted to accomplish. And so now, let's say, been in Bellingham for 3 years, living in Bellingham. It's an amazing place to live, and I love it here. And I'm a trainer, and I love working with people, and like I said, it's a huge passion of mine. So if you have a dream, if you have a goal, work with consistency, persist to it, and have confidence while you do it. And that is going to speed your goals and dreams up by so much, and you're going to be so surprised what starts happening in your life. And that's kind of why some of the books I suggested last time, as far as the Slight Edge, simple disciplines made on a daily basis. And so thanks again for watching my video. Please subscribe, and send some emails, send some questions on things that you're interested. It could be about my life, or it could be about your life. Like, it doesn't matter. I really have a voice, and I want to tell more people about what I'm doing, and really how to make their lives more efficient and to what they want out of life. So thanks again, and have a good one, guys.